We have been talking about tokenization for months now because, again, tokenization is going to simply be one of the biggest things that happens in the entire crypto space for the next 10 plus years at least. The next one after that would probably be maybe quantum resistant technology or just quantum advancements. I don't know what could be bigger than tokenization, if I'm being honest, because again, the market opportunity here, the value projected to enter this space through tokenized assets, it's just absolutely breathtaking. And we have to address this, especially with what BlackRock recently told us, because it is very significant. And I really do think that it's going to affect everything in a big way. And what I mean by everything, I mean the value of the underlying assets, how much money is moving over these networks. I mean, everything that you could think of, tokenization is going to completely affect it in a big way. So we have here from Ripple, to capture the value of a projected $16 trillion tokenized economy, institutions need more than just storage. They need resilience. At Ripple, we provide a security environment that mirrors the rigor of the banks we serve. We combine HSM and FIPS certified hardware to deliver security that scales, protecting assets without sacrificing operational speed. But legitimate integration with the global financial system requires verification. This is why we strictly adhere to SOC 2 Type 2 and ISO 27001 standards, ensuring your infrastructure is not just powerful, but compliant. And yes, that's because Ripple has planned for integration with the global financial system since day one. And we have down here, in digital assets, security isn't a feature. It's the foundation of institutional trust. Effective custody requires defense in depth architecture, battle-tested cryptography, and the governance rigor of a global financial institution. The stakes are too high for anything less. And Reese Merrick said, as someone on the inside at Ripple, I couldn't be more excited about the work we're doing to set a new standard in institutional digital asset custody. Akshay perfectly captures what drives us every day in this space. Trust isn't a nice to have, it's the foundation of everything. With Ripple's enterprise-grade custody solution, we are delivering the kind of bank-level security, regulatory compliance, and seamless integration that institutions have been asking for. Whatever the future of value looks like, we're building the infrastructure that can securely support it at scale. This isn't just technology, it's the resilient backbone the entire industry needs to move forward with confidence. Let's go. Now within this, we have Ripple Custody, a primer on secure digital asset custody solutions. This goes back to March of this year. We've talked about this, we've broken it down, we've addressed it. The main thing that we are looking at here with major custody platforms or solutions, we look at what has happened in the past around crypto, the bad taste that it has left in everyone's mouth. It's not even just institutional players, right? Everyone is affected by what has happened in this market over the last, couple years. If you think about what I talk about with ITrustCapital, right? I addressed how we have these massive hacks in this space, and they all center around these major exchanges. Bybit, which was the most recent one, resulted in $1.5 billion in stolen digital assets. This is the largest hack in crypto history from one of the largest exchanges in the space. When we think about security, when we think about compliance, when we think about everything that must be in place for custody platforms to be, extremely successful and secure, Ripple has all of that. They have prepared for this. And remember that they acquired Medico, which was one of the biggest custody platforms for banks like Citi, Societe Generale, BBVA, DBS, DZ Bank. I mean, everything that Ripple Custody has tied to it is everything any institutional player, big or small, would need. And then when you think about what Ripple Custody actually is, this is the infrastructure for tokenization, for the tokenized future. When we go up here to the solutions tab and we go to custody and you just click on tokenization, this is where we see the big picture. Everything tapped in around the tokenized future. And yes, XRP and the XRPL, are center to it. Now, we address this, and then we think about what BlackRock has been telling us. We just got a new report from The Economist, and we have BlackRock's Larry Fink and Rob Goldstein say tokenization can modernize the infrastructure that still makes parts of the financial system slow and costly. Now, if you remember that video clip from October with Larry Fink, then this is no surprise. CEO of the world's largest asset manager, we're just at the beginning of the tokenization of all assets. Yes, includes ETFs. Larry Fink, on his positively evolving attitude towards crypto, I grow and learn. Good lesson here. And some of you still think crypto is a scam.
Crypto exchanges are not safe. It does not matter the size of the exchange either. Bybit, the fourth largest crypto exchange by trading volume, recorded one of the largest crypto hacks in history back in February, where $1.4 billion was stolen. And if we're looking at some of the top 10 crypto hacks in history, most of these are resulting from major exchanges. So where do we store our crypto outside of cold storage devices? Well, ITrustCapital offers premium custody accounts, which is one of the safest places to store your crypto because these are fully closed loop systems which are designed to isolate and protect assets. And the best part about this is that if you are holding digital assets on their platform, they can only be withdrawn in USD linked to a US bank account, which means no external wallet connections can happen, which reduces the exposure to phishing or unauthorized transfers. So if you guys do want to tap into one of the safest places to lock up your crypto, you could sign up utilizing my link down in the description below right now, where you deposit $1,000 and you get a free $100 funding bonus today.
I do believe we're just at the beginning of the tokenization of all assets, from real estate to equities to bonds across the board.
It's very loud here.
It is very loud.
But it's good. Capital's at work, Larry. You like that.
I love capital at work.
Yeah.
But there's $4.1 trillion of money in globally in digital wallets. A lot of that money is outside the United States. If we could tokenize a ETF, digitize that ETF, we could have investors who are just beginning to, invest in markets through, let's say, crypto. They're investing in it, but now we could get them into the more traditional long-term retirement products. So we look at that as the next wave of opportunity for BlackRock over the next tens of years, as we start moving away from traditional financial assets by repotting them in a digital manner, and then having people stay in that digital ecosystem. They can have their cash, and we have the largest cash money market fund that's tokenized called BITL. Our Bitcoin IBIT is now over $100 billion.
$100 billion, I know, from nothing not that long ago.
And 2 years ago, zero.
Yeah,
so
I know. Well, you weren't always a huge proponent of crypto, as we know.
I love it now. But I grow and learn.
I heard you say that on 60 Minutes.
I did say that.
And again, when you have Larry Fink talking about how traditional finance is evolving and everything's moving on chain, and how we're just at the beginning of this, it should tell you exactly where we're at. We are at the beginning. This is just a start. And what's crazy about this is we also know that Ripple is prepared for this. Ripple is prepared for this with, of course, XRP and the XRPL as well. We know this is true because of what, the links take you to on their website, but also just by doing a little bit of research on the recent acquisitions or recent moves. XRP is at the center of this. It's the foundation of all of this. Now, on top of that, we also have another video clip from Larry Fink. This goes back to November 5th. BlackRock's Larry Fink continues to emphasize one message: the future is tokenized. Tokenization is probably the most important component in the evolution of the money's financial plumbing. The next era of finance is being built on chain.
The opportunity for tokenization is probably the most important component of how we are going to see the evolution of the financial plumbing of the world. And the reality is, if we could tokenize all our ETFs, all 5.5 $3 trillion of our ETFs and provide that in a digital wallet. You could seamlessly, without fees, going from a digital currency or a stable coin or whatever that may be in your digital wallet and buy bond or stocks. And I believe that is going to be the future.
So again, we have multiple video clips of Larry Fink telling us exactly what's coming. And most people are still asleep at the wheel. Here we have from The Economist, tokenization is shaping the next evolution of global markets. Larry Fink and Rob Goldstein discuss how tokenization can modernize market infrastructure, enhancing efficiency, transparency, and access by connecting traditional and decentralized or digital finance. Here we have 50 years ago, money moved at the speed of mail. We're talking about how antiquated this system is. Now, obviously, they're talking about paper certificates here. But then in 1977, a technology called SWIFT brought standardized electronic messaging between banks, cutting transaction times from days to minutes. Today, trades between New York and London execute in milliseconds. Now, finance is entering the next major evolution in market infrastructure, one that could move assets faster and more securely than systems that have served investors for decades. And then they start by saying it started in 2009 with Bitcoin. A few years later, the same technology, the blockchain, sparked something even more transformative, tokenization. They even say that, with tokenization, this takes leaps ahead of what SWIFT ever made possible. This is where you see the big shift here. What's even crazier about this, right, is that they say much of the early adoption is happening in the developing world where banking access is limited. Nearly 3/4 of the crypto holders live outside the West. Meanwhile, the economies that built modern finance, America, Britain, and the EU, are falling behind. So now we have BlackRock urging these economies to really start becoming dominant in this space. And they need to start pushing forward. If history is any guide, tokenization today is roughly where the internet was in 1996. This is from BlackRock. I mean, this is blowing my mind. This should blow everyone's mind that BlackRock is telling us that we are in the 1996 era of the internet right now. This should show you where we're headed. Tokenization can modernize the infrastructure that still makes parts of the financial system slow and costly, bringing more people into the world's most powerful engine of wealth creation, the markets. But as 1929 taught us, every expansion of access must be matched by updated safeguards. Tokenization must do both, move faster and move safely, building trust as it goes. This truly is the new financial system. This is the largest opportunity that we have in front of us. This is going to completely reshape everything that we know of forever. Now is not the time to sit around complaining about price action. Now is not the time thinking about wondering, I wonder if this is going to be the future or not. Now is the time to lock in and listen to what these big players are telling us. These are some of the largest players in finance. They are the biggest names you can think of. And they are telling us exactly where things are headed and exactly how big things like tokenization will be. Now, on top of that, I want to end off this video with what Reese Merrick told us. The digital future demands unified infrastructure, not piecemeal solutions. Ripple is building infrastructure that will enable global finance to go on-chain. Payments, real-time cross-border payments utilizing XRP, RLUSD on the XRP ledger. Custody, bank-grade security
for managing private keys and digital assets. Tokenization, turning real-world assets into highly liquid digital tokens on the XRP ledger. And Prime Brokerage, institutional platform for clearing, financing, and OTC execution across digital assets. And we still have Rail Financial, G Treasury, and Palisade to officially join the party. But when we think about what Ripple has created here with everything that Ripple has in place and what we're hearing from BlackRock, Ripple and XRP are fully equipped to enable this new system. And in my opinion, will be crucial players in not only enabling the future financial system, but building core infrastructure for it. This is something that everyone should be paying attention to, especially if you hold XRP. Most importantly, this is what you should be looking into. This is what you should be focused on. The future is extremely bright for these utility-based projects, and XRP is at the top of that list. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, this has been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.